joy spread in the airwaves, one song at a time. Find joy, give joy, that's the Christmas way. Find joy, give joy, give joy, find joy, joy, give joy, give joy. Hot 97.1, lighting up your holiday. Find joy, give joy, that's the Christmas way.
Find joy. Give joy this Christmas. Only with Hot 97.1.
Okay. Christmas in St. Vincent. It's sweet. It's sweet, oi. 9 o'clock in the morning. It's real sweet, oi. Christmas sweet. You know.
How come my rent's more than your rent?
But let me ask you something, right? You know what?
I that one word there, boy.
Yeah. What was that one there, boy?
What's that one there, boy?
How that go so? You know, it'll be amazing, right? Oh, not it does be. It is amazing now that the kind of things that you're hearing coming out now, and people still defend it. How do you defend this? How?
If you're in the Gonzalez shoes, and this is coming out, what do you do?
I know, man.
You ignore it?
Yeah.
Do you respond?
No.
Are you gonna justify it?
No.
Are you gonna like? I was just communicating with somebody there, somebody who apparently who had applied for a spot upstairs. The spot was free at the time. The spot was free at the time, and then they were given the assurance to go ahead. Blah 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 blah. We're just waiting on the official letter. The official letter never came, and then some 6 months later, after having verbally agreed, was told that the spot is no longer available for them. And shortly after that,
who got it?
Somebody else took
it. Right.
I mean, surely on these things, the board has a responsibility.
The board of what?
The board of the airport.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, and why we always run into this problem, if the board is made up of people like me and people for me, what responsibility do they have?
Yeah, but this
exactly.
I'm going to tell you why, right? Because not everything stays the same forever.
Yeah, but
hang on. And when that time comes for a change, you have to be able to stand your ground and explain why you rubber stamp those decisions.
Right.
All right.
Firstly,
because because you may face criminal prosecution if you can't.
Right. Firstly,
are you going to put your livelihood? Are you going to put your freedom at stake to cover for somebody else?
Firstly,
would you do that?
I wouldn't do that.
Would you do that?
But firstly,
would you ask somebody to do it for you?
I would ask somebody for that.
Would you? I wouldn't.
But you wouldn't.
I wouldn't ask someone to do something which could potentially put them in prison.
Yeah.
For my benefit.
But guess what? We're talking about it now, right? So that means
someone was asked.
Someone was asked, right? And I mean somebody accepted, right? So it could be done. So the point I'm making to you, sir, is that the persons, whoever it was that did whatever, they always had the inkling that I ain't going nowhere. I hear.
Right. So when that time comes around,
they're looking for that time.
No, but okay, they weren't looking for it, but it came.
Right.
And when it comes around,
I ain't know.
There cannot be, and I'm going to repeat this: there cannot be any mercy.
None.
There cannot be any forgiveness.
None.
Right? Because the decisions were made.
You were part and parcel.
You knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you cannot now come and say, well, I didn't really have any choice. You had a choice.
You had a choice.
You could have stepped away.
You could have said, no.
I don't want this.
This is not.
I'm not rubber stamping that. If that means it cost my job, it cost my job.
But you did it. Because somewhere along the line, you were offered something which you gratefully took.
The other thing to remember in the airport is how many CEOs came and went in a relatively short space of time.
I can answer. Enough.
A lot.
Enough.
There were changes.
And maybe that was because they weren't willing to keep rubber stamping those things.
Correct. So as it stands, if that is really what we're hearing here is the case, well, that alone speaks for itself. If you're saying to me, according to that letter there, somebody applied, we had a whatever verbal contract, whatever, yes. 6 months going on, yes. And then out of the blue, I get a call.
And because your government is in power, because your maybe in this case your husband is in power, and maybe your husband was the one who was the driving force behind the airport. All right, kudos. But that doesn't give you any personal rights.
Yeah.
none whatsoever. Matter of fact, some would even say it's conflict of interest.
Yeah, but I was saying that from the beginning. If it is that I am the PM, me, Chris, is the PM, and you're here, and let me use the same airport as the example. So Chris is the PM.
Your family should have no
and he's
business
gonna have all the
whatsoever.
stores inside there. Hello,
And all right.
Yeah.
hello.
If we saw tomorrow that all the space in there was given to Friday's wife,
People getting bored for murder inside there.
there would be
Outcry,
uproar.
man.
So
You
what's
wouldn't hear
the-
the end of it.
So what's different?
What's different?
And here you have local business people paying the taxes, paying the this, paying the that, employing people who are denied the opportunity. See, to me, right, the board has a responsibility to generate the maximum rent it can from from the space that they have,
to go into
while
operational costs.
providing an array of services that they deem as necessary for an airport.
Yeah.
Right? That's their obligation.
Yeah.
They have no individual obligation to anybody.
Well, they shouldn't.
You can't have on one side of the airport, the fence falling down. You know what I mean?
And you know the wildest thing about all
And
this,
and
guys?
you haven't gone out of your way to get the maximum rent possible.
Guys, you know the wildest thing about all of this? You have a 7 o'clock flight in the morning. Can't get a cup of tea.
Thank God for Lano.
Lord bless
Yeah,
Lano.
right?
Thank God for Lano.
Lord bless Lano. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
that's
you
what-
then
yeah.
then you then you
I
go
remember,
now.
I remember leaving and
Where's
what they had
Lano?
wasn't even a little cold cut sandwich. Was bakes and fried chicken. 7 o'clock in the morning, oil on your chest.
Roman.
Well, listen, wait, want some pizza? You want some?
I didn't want nothing, right?
Hungry or not?
Right? Exactly.
No, wait,
Exactly.
you want some? You
But
want
yes,
some?
that should have been a red flag from time.
If that is the case, it is a
Time.
clear conflict. It is clear. First,
Your
it's
husband
clear.
is the leader of
Yeah.
the country. That's
You have no
clear.
comment there.
Yeah, exactly. That's clear.
That's first and foremost. That's what I said just now. First.
So what?
you have no
Why? If all this is what is, why were they so comfortable doing it? Because it's not like it's visible, huh?
And you
It
know what?
is.
You know what I say sometimes, right? Sometimes I don't even feel like it was a mandate handed down from the top, Chris. I often feel like it's people were in positions or they were placed in positions, right? And they have this sense of responsibility to the top. So it's not necessarily like the top was saying, you have to make sure my wife get this, and this. It's a thing where some of them might even be thinking, boy, we have to do this, and this for them.
Yeah, but that's the best form of control when I don't actually say it. When everybody knows what it
Yeah,
is.
when I want to please the master, and the master asked me to do nothing, but I know master gonna like it. I gotta do it.
Because
Come
here
on.
is this business that applied that would have probably had 4 or 5 staff, offered a wider variety of stuff to have and to eat, whatever the case may be.
Experienced.
Very, very experienced. You understand? And you just cut them for
And the place just they close.
really?
And then all of a sudden, space that was earmarked for you
Hey, gone. Wow.
to somebody who already has 3 other spots.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow. Explain that.
Explain it.
So
Explain
when the
that.
people are calling for
They must have been paying some crazy rent. They
Yeah,
must have
yeah,
been.
yeah.
They must have been.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
so when the people are calling for
They must have outbid everybody. They must have said, "Look,
everybody.
100 grand on the table,
Yeah.
man. Forget it.
all
If
of
I
this.
pay 10
Forget it.
man, I get
100.
50.
100.
So when the people are calling for forensic audits now of everything, you can't blame them. Because all of this favoritism, nepotism, all the isms that was going
And what scares me in this is that an airport, like airport restaurants, concessions, are very visible. That's not something that is kind of hidden. If you have enough front to do that,
I see where you're going.
Imagine for what you could see.
Imagine what we
For
can't
where
see.
you- for where you could see that is hidden. Imagine what you would see. That one right, what you would see for what is hidden. Yeah. Imagine what you could see for what is hidden.
Tamara the grads on the live is saying, now you see why she never encouraged her husband to retire. Because she was a part of the corruption as well.
Well, I ain't going that far. That's to be found out, prosecuted, whatever, right?
No, if they do find out.
But at this point, right, you have to say it seems somewhat unethical that the Prime Minister's wife, if indeed she has all the spaces in the airport, or most of the spaces in the airport, how did that come about? What was the process for one person to get so much?
And then, if that is the case, is not you the same person when they're alive and people attacking your family and trying to do this to your family and trying to do that to your family?
Well, is that why the PM came out afterwards in his address on the Saturday after the elections and said
But victimization.
about victimizing? Was that what he was actually talking about? Was he preempting some of these things?
I want to go even a little further than that. Maybe that's why I didn't want to come out of where you were. To preempt these things coming out.
Maybe.
That's why you fought tooth and nail not wanting to come out.
Maybe.
Because you know, if you do come out, and these things will come to the surface, it's like oil and water.
So what's the next step?
The next step would be that whoever is in now, they see this through, and somebody or some peoples had to have the balls in the noose. Have to. If you don't have balls, we'll get some fair.
Picture that one.
That's crazy, Chris.
But look, but you have
Sounds
to.
painful, Chris.
No, you have to. Somebody have to.
Be held accountable.
I think the first thing would be that you would have to interview the board.
If they all done resign and gone.
Even if they get,
Even if they resign and gone, right?
Yeah.
You have to interview them and find out
Who
what was going on.
said
What was
to
the
do
process?
What? Yeah. Have to. Must is a must.
and then you look at the financial records for the last
And then look
14 years.
at receipts, etc.
And if they added up.
Check the bank transactions.
I mean,
payments
you still have to
everywhere.
explain how did one person get so much.
Exactly.
But on top of that, then you need,
If they dance,
And you know that limits variety as well.
of course.
If they added up, somebody's swinging by the cojones. Some people. Because you sat comfortably well and allowed it to happen.
So you're saying jail time?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Or-
a bit preemptive. But
Or if you could pay back our money,
Fines.
fines.
Or we
But-
seize your properties.
potentially criminal.
You know, it is making me chuckle now.
What?
It probably has so much more of these things to come.
If you're the NDP, does this need to be swift and transparent?
Yeah.
All of it, actually, not just
Yes.
this.
And it have to be made transparent. That's a must.
Yeah.
That is a must.
Don't
That's
bury,
the only
don't
way you
bury,
would know.
Don't cover up anything.
That's the only way you would know why certain things can happen now.
Exactly.
Let me see if you made certain promises like we was talking earlier, and the funding in there to do it. This is part and parcel of the reason why.
I care, Nick. So that's a keep it.
All right. All right, coming back.
In your hand is more than just a bottle. It's the iconic green glass.